Yo, haha, Magnificent. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Magnificent coming back with another update, actually a review too. Like everybody knows, a lot of people know that I'm in the sneaker game to a certain point, but I'm not hardcore in the sneaker game. The whole point of this channel is to provide you information, and I feel like that might be, I don't know, beneficial to you. Everybody has, or everybody and everything has good and bad. So yeah, the video is not mistaken. I actually did cheat, and I got caught cheating. Because I got caught cheating because everybody knows me personally, knows that I love Android, I love Samsung, and your boy got caught cheating. So yeah, your boy got the iPad. I ended up getting the pencil, Apple Pencil, and only for this reason. Now, does that mean that I'm going to just dump Samsung altogether and call it a day and move on from? No, I'm not one of those people. I love technology. So again, there's good and bad and everything. And unfortunately, the truth is that if you're an Apple user, you've probably, especially depending on how long you've been an Apple user, you probably have accessories, a bunch of accessories that you're used to buying through Apple, and they pretty much they're Apple specific, right? So that means basically it's not going to be able to work with any other hardware, maybe the software. It's the one thing I don't like about Apple. While I do like the processing, I do like in terms of production applications, I don't like the restrictions. There's certain things where I can do with Android, where it's open source, so I can just like my music. I have a bunch of music because I create music. I use it and put it in my videos. I love music locally because I don't like to do the whole streaming thing all the time, because typically what will happen sometimes, and it depends on where you are, if the signal's not as strong, your cell phone signal's not as strong, you'll hear that buffering or you'll hear. So to avoid all that, I just like everything local. Now, it's convenient for me, for example, with Android, where I can take those files that I have locally stored, whether it be MPEG 3, it could be a wave file, no matter what the case may be. I can take those files, copy it directly to my phone, and the phone will pick it up, because Android, their software is, again, open source. So you can download applications so that the phone can basically render the video. It can pick up different types of audio. It doesn't matter whether it's, again, MPEG. It could be MPEG 4. It could be AVI. It doesn't matter. It'll be able to pick it up. You don't have to sit there and do anything special, because by default, that's how Android is. With Apple, it's more specific. So if you have certain videos or certain audio that doesn't have, that's not the same quality in which that Apple can basically read it, it's not going to play. They're very specific, and you ended up having to do a jailbreak just to get, it's the whole thing is basically convoluting. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're an Apple user, you're used to buying things from Apple, and that's a whole financial thing. They want you to buy specific Apple things. Samsung, not necessarily. You can, but it's still compatible. And not just Samsung, most Android devices, Google, it doesn't matter. You have that capability of intermixing. With Apple, it's just basically specific. So why did I get the iPad? Why did I get the pencil? Well, for me, what I notice about, and this is why I say good and bad, Android to me is getting a little bit overwhelmed with ads. And it's crazy now, because even the simplest ads back then, the simplest apps back then, didn't have as much ads on it like they do now. Like anything you download, there's going to be an ad pop up. And in order to remove the ad, you got to pay X amount of dollars. The whole thing is getting ridiculous. Apple, to a certain point, still has that ad thing, but it's not as bad as Android is getting. I feel like Android now, for production applications, stuff that I use in order to create these videos, stuff that I use every day, I'm feeling like that there's more of that ad, just ad on top of ad on top of ad. And I think that is hurting a lot of applications that is running on the phone itself. You open yourself up to viruses and things like that. That's the part where Apple actually is kind of strong on. They're very specific to certain apps that are allowed to work and to not work with their products unless you jailbreak them. So that's why one of the reasons why I decided to go with the iPad for production, not for my cell phone. Cell phone, when it comes to music, videos, and photos, that is where that's another plus. Actually, before I get into the plus side of the Apple, Android. Android, if you notice that you have micro SD cards, uh, while this you have no slot in your iPad, maybe not yet. Um, it's easier to, it's cheaper. I should say it's more cheaper to store local things versus using the cloud all the time. And even the cloud, for those that don't know, it's just a server. It could be a server, multiple servers, remote servers that you're uploading to some type of data center. Some hackers can, who's smart enough, can actually hack that. You know, they actually would have a harder time getting to, unless they got to your phone. It's a harder time getting to data that's on an SD card versus somebody that has a data center where all your information is stored at whatever remote location. It could be in the Americas, it could be across the seas. You don't know. It's just cloud based to most people. But the whole point I'm trying to make is it's cheaper to store your information locally than it is on the cloud. On the cloud, you have to pay like a monthly subscription, where on a micro SD card, once you pay for it, the information is yours. You get to keep it. So that's one of the plus sides that I like. I feel like, and you can interchange them. I can get a terabyte, so I can have external storage on top of internal memory storage, which means I can take unlimited photos. Well, not say unlimited, but I can take a bunch of videos in HD quality, not have to worry about, oh my God, do I have enough space on my internal iPad, or do I have to open up the cloud and buy some more? So that's the whole point. Is I'm trying to say that there's good and bad in both platforms, but I want to utilize both of them and see how I can make both work together. So this is what I've been up to. If you notice that I usually record from my phone sometimes when I'm going through different examples, well, that's going to change because now I've programmed everything, pretty much all my applications, stuff that I would normally use on this phone is now on my iPad. So I'll be able to do things that way. The pen, the pen's a bonus because anybody knows me. I use a stylus pen for my Note 8. So I wanted to see, obviously, when I read things about this was only good for the iPad Pro, and I didn't feel like I didn't really feel the need to have a Pro version. I just wanted a basic version, basic iPad, because I'm going to do basic things. Well, come to find out that this basic iPad is a lot more advanced than I thought. That chip that they have there, the A10 or whatever it's called, that thing is powerful. Now, it doesn't have, I think it's only 2 or 3 gigs worth of RAM, which kind of restricts, at least this is the what they call the 9.7 iPad version. That means that you just can't open a bunch of applications all at once, and you're going to feel the after effect once you start opening up, depending on what application you open up. If you have multiple, you can multitask in here, and it does have a split screen view. But if you're doing so many different things at the same time, you can notice a slowdown. But you really have to push it to the max in order to feel that slowdown, because the chip itself is processing its information. It's just that when it doesn't have enough room or memory to process all these applications, that's when it starts getting finicky. But outside of that, another reason why I jumped from what I was doing now, like the way I do YouTube now, to Apple. Apple's finally coming out with iOS 13. Actually, yeah, I think it's called iOS 13. But it's specifically for the iPad. Now, what people may or may not notice, there's a lot of different things that's going to change from what's running now. I think I'm on 12.4.1. In reality, let's just keep it 100. The reason why they came out with that update is to keep people from jailbreaking. Who already jailbroke their whole iOS 12, that 4.1. If you download that and you have your iPad jailbroken, it's going to take that limitation away. But anyway, iOS 13, I can see that Apple, when I was reading what they're doing, is that they're opening up more to third-party applications and third-party hardware with this new update. For the longest, right, this basically was your mouse. If you had an iPad user, if you're an iPad user, this was your mouse. And quite honestly, it's not bad, but they also have the actual Apple mouse, but that's very expensive. So you're spending like over $200 between the mouse and the pencil. The pencil I don't mind because I do, after experimenting with this, it actually is useful when you're trying to do the video rendering stuff that I do behind the scenes to create these videos. This can be very useful. So this was a good investment. But with iOS 13, the one thing I did like about it is the fact that now you'll be able to use things like a regular mouse, an external hard drive, which you couldn't use before. You had to use this lightning cord with the SD adapter, right? Once that plugs in, one of the restrictions is once you take an SD card, all right, and you put the adapter in here, once you plug it in here, you can only import. You can't export. You can import videos and photos, which was another issue that I found when I was doing all of this. But that'll be another video. I'll cover certain things that people may or may not know between Android and Apple, and certain things that people thought that didn't work that actually does work. It just doesn't work accordingly, so there's workarounds. So I got a bunch of videos, a bunch of reviews coming that way. This video is just to let you know that yes. So again, I have cheated. I am doing both Apple and I will be doing Android. Again, that's just me. That's my mentality. I am a tech person. I love sneakers, but I'm a tech person first, and I love to learn things that are new. So that's the side of me that pretty much people did know or did not know. Now, I actually, in terms of what I did for these purchases, as you can see, I got the iPad, but I actually got this case with it. It was a whole bunch of stuff that I ordered to make all of this work. And of course, I got the iPad right here, but here's the case. And it basically allows me to, function this as like a computer per se. This is a USB keyboard that came with the case. And what I like about this is the fact that it has that LED light. So I don't know if you can see that. We should be able to see it, but I can interchange the colors, which I think is pretty cool, as I'm using it. And basically, if I'm using this at night, the keyboard basically lights up, and I can see this at night when I'm typing. I think I have this on, and you can see that it's turning on. I'm not going to put the Touch ID. Actually, I can do it, but I just got to turn it this way so you can't see the passcode. Bam. And you can see right here that, again, this will be another video I'll cover over. One of the challenges that I have by taking a video direct from a 360 camera, basically a third-party application or hardware, from video footage that I'm doing right now. If I were to take the video from here and copy it direct here, the video will work, but the audio will not. Again, there's certain glitches that I'm kind of working around, and again, that's going to be a separate video. But another thing that I did, in addition to getting the iPad, the cover, the keyboard that came with the actual cover, is the iPen. Now this right here is a game changer. I'm having fun learning different things with this. This is pressure censored, so it means that I can, depending on the application that I have, I can pretty much do. It's as natural as writing as you're going to get, which I think is actually pretty cool. And of course, that your iPad comes with your whole lightning cable, your power adapter. And for those that have Apple, you're probably experts. Me, I'm just learning. So it actually did come with. It came with a female to male adapter for the pen, because this is pretty cool. How this works is like this is Bluetooth, but instead of you going through like you would do on Android, you go to Bluetooth and you connect it that way. This has that Magic Connect, which means that I can plug this up into the adapter, or at least the port of the iPad, and that it automatically just connects. So that's pretty cool. But again, I can't use this just yet because in the fall iOS 13 will come out, and then hopefully I can be able to use this mouse. I can use external storage. I don't have to do the whole micro SD. My only wish is that I hope that Apple with this iOS 13 release will make it so that you can not only import videos and import videos and photos, you can export video and photos, which you can't do, which I'm kind of finding out the hard way. But I did see a lot of stuff that they're going to be doing, and for Apple users who are hardcore, and you have an iPad, whether you have an iPad Pro or you have the 9.7 that I have right now, you're going to be pleasantly surprised the amount of changes that they did. This actual pen that I'm holding actually came with an extra tip. And the one thing I did notice before I go and head this out, because again, there's drastic changes that's coming to this channel That's going to be tech-wise, it's going to be sneaker-wise, review-wise. I got a whole array of things coming on, offers and things like that. So I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff without you guys, and I want to thank you very much for all my subscribers who subscribe. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. You know me. You subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. Again, the whole idea behind my channel is to provide you feedback and information that I feel as though that will be beneficial to you for your everyday life. That is what I'm going to try to do, and do it in different arrays. Now, people like, how are you going to do sneakers? How are sneakers going to benefit you? Well, that's because if you're learning, if you're looking, there's certain shoes that I review, and they're really mostly viable shoes, meaning that you invest in those shoes, and over time, you'll find that most of the shoes that are reviewed spiked up, meaning you can buy it at retail, and then there's different open resale markets where you can resell this product. Now, obviously, some of them I like to keep, because what people don't know is before I started this whole channel was that I wanted a kind of like a bucket list of shoes that I couldn't afford when I was younger. And now that I can kind of afford it now, even with the family, there were certain shoes that I wanted to have in a collection, and those are shoes that you see behind me right now. I still have some more boxes to go through, and then I'll sort that out. But outside of that, I love technology. This is my prime thing right here. But if you look on my channel art, you're probably seeing power. And really, the whole message is knowledge is power. Because while I can't give you all of everything that I know, I can give people just enough to send them on their way so they can do their own homework, and basically just, hey, it's all up to you. But your boy Milton Never Sent, that's the big news. That yes, I have invested in Apple. I like where they're going with iOS 13. I like the chip that they have built in, and quite honestly, I am pleasantly surprised that in terms of productivity, time-wise, where I can organize things, I can, it's like instead of having multiple devices, I can have everything centralized here, and I don't have to worry about my phone getting overused. So this is kind of like this actually has kind of helped me with work, with the whole family life, and obviously to you guys on YouTube. And also the upcoming Sixers season, which I am thrilled to show you guys what it's like to be me going to a Sixers game. Not that I'm special, nowhere near special, but just the experience. It's a true blessing just to be a part of that whole family gathering. You know, it's like people outside just may not know, because you know the media is the media. They're going to show you certain things. I can't show you everything, but I can show you just enough to let you know, like, look, the NBA, the players, whether you're a player, you're a coach, everybody has a family, everybody bleeds, everybody has a difficulty, everybody works hard. So I guess what you see on TV, you see a bunch of people just shooting. I know that's the mentality of certain people, is that you see a bunch of people just shooting, but it's a lot more than just basketball. It's bigger than basketball. You know, kids look up to basketball players. Basketball players, they interact. The majority of them interact with their community, and just to see the fans and the families there. When I go to these games, whew, man, I'm telling you right now, it's so cool just to meet people who are coming from overseas just to come to a Sixers game. And you know, because everybody likes the NBA, we're all fans. But enough raving and ranting. Your boy Milton Never Sent. The whole point of this video is to let you know that I will be doing things from Apple. I will be doing things, continue to do things on the phone, but I'm also going to be doing reviews and letting you know the many difficulties that I have going from, or switching video, audio, and all types of things from Android to Apple. But there are workarounds that I am learning, and without the help of anybody else. I'm literally figuring this out on my own, and I think it's kind of fun because I like to be a tech guy. So, your boy Mel Never Sent. The big news is out, and you know what? I'm looking forward to this challenge because, hey, it's technology. Got the sneakers in the back. Hey, you're going to see a lot more videos, a lot more surprise videos in the future. So, your boy Mel Never Sent. I'm out. You guys stay blessed. As always, the one message I will say before I go, always have that team around you that knows how to invest versus spend. Because quite honestly, you want to have some people around you who are knowledgeable that, yes, you can spend, but you know how to invest your money. Those are going to be the biggest influencers in your life, because you're going to be able to learn from each other. right? And then it's also beneficial for you long term to learn how to save, to learn how to, make $1 turn into $10, a $10 turn into $100. You think it's crazy, but it's actually possible if you know what you're doing. There's certain things that you have to do. There's certain programs you can join. There's many things you can do to invest your money, and be able to basically flip it. So, and the sneaker game is just one of many things you can do in order to do that. So your boy Magnificent, I'm out. Surprise. And I'll see you guys later.